Both look like shit.
I'm actually really tired.
Good to see you too, family jewels. I'm really happy to be here.
I didn't point that out.
I'm really not.
You're not happy to be here?
No.
State your feelings, Richard.
You're fat.
Okay. How you doing, John?
I'm doing all right. I have the sleep schedule of a schizophrenic owl right now, but other than that,
schizophrenic owl.
I'm all right.
I can see it.
So just up all the time? I mean, the schizophrenia kind of like negates the nocturnal thing. I feel like schizos don't really sleep very much.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have marginalized the schizophrenic owl community.
I'm clearly very offended by your statements right now.
I know several owls.
I know several owls.
Are there any owls in California?
I don't know.
I think there are.
For the first time when I was doing the yard work, there was like a fly that landed on me. I was like, oh, cool, a bug.
Yeah.
I haven't seen like any bugs since I saw
fruit flies.
There's fruit flies, and I saw one spider in our house, and like I have not been bitten by a single mosquito out here.
Well, maybe lately, like it's possible just because of all the like rain and shit we've been having and stuff. But like I don't know.
Yeah, it's been like raining and humid, and they're still not really seeing much in the way of like.
Well, I mean, I'm sure like there aren't a lot of bugs around here because it's always so dry. Like they'd have to probably like.
I mean, there's cockroaches.
Down. Well, yeah.
When you go into downtown San Diego, there's just cockroaches everywhere.
Dude, I had like
really.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any.
When you go to downtown San Diego at night and you just walk around, there's cockroaches all over the sidewalk.
Yeah, they're just chilling. Speaking of cockroaches, weird segue, but like, remember this morning when I was like, I had like these really vivid like apocalypse dreams last night?
Yeah.
Like, nice.
Okay, no, like, yeah, and it got to the point where I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna wake up. Like, fuck this shit. Like, I had this dream that. Okay, so like the sun was like really close to the earth. It was gonna be like, you know, like a heat death fucking sun apocalypse situation.
Sounds like a good metal band.
Yeah. And
sun apocalypse situation.
Sun heat death.
Sun heat death.
That sounds like a punk band, actually.
A what?
Sun Heat Death.
Yeah.
It's just a punk band, a shitty punk band.
With their new album, Fuck It, I'll Just Wake Up.
Yeah. Well, so I can't remember what I was doing, but I was running around New York City for whatever reason.
That's what you always do during the apocalypse.
Yeah. And I remember getting on a train.
Live here.
I remember getting on a train, and like the train had all these like office cars or whatever, like people like working for like insurance or something like that. And I went up to one of them. It was like this like black lady, and like she was telling me all about like her like kids and stuff, and how like she didn't know where they are, and she has to work even though the apocalypse is happening or something weird. But then like she started telling me all these things about like, okay, like here's what's going on, like this is my theory on what's going to happen and all this stuff, and I feel like if we stay in this exact cart in this exact position, then we might be able to survive the apocalypse. So
your dreams are fucking stupid.
My dreams are really stupid. So then all of a sudden, like the entire sky went like red, and it was super bright, and like it was weird. It was like really vivid, and then all of a sudden, just like there was just all these screams and fucking like everyone dying. But sure enough, we didn't die. Me and this like elderly black lady didn't die. And because of everything that was going on, she freaked out.
Isn't this the plot to like The Matrix Reloaded or something?
Is it?
I don't think so.
With the Oracle and
what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean,
did I watch the same Matrix Reloaded? All I remember is
he's just making an elderly black lady connection.
Oh God, you're fucking racist. Well, anyway,
that movie's terrible.
Anyway, so the only thing I remember is the rave. Like, it's just like this.
Wait, what?
That randomly the rave. Like underground, when they're all like freaking out, and like they're like, "Yeah, we're not gonna let the machines kill us. Let's all drop Molly and fucking rave." You don't remember that? That was the only part in the movie for as much as
Oh, you're referring? No, I saw that movie when I was like 12.
Same.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Even when I was 12, I was like, this sucks. And I didn't like retain any.
I thought that you were referencing something in your dream that you hadn't explained
you were in a rave with an old black lady.
No, I'm still trying to figure out where you got Matrix Reloaded from.
Because Oracle. I don't know.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Okay, so you're telling me that I'm being nonsensical and you're talking about your apocalypse dreams.
No, I'm calling you racist for fucking connecting one black
I say that is racist?
Other black lady
what did I say that is racist? Because what you said reminded me of a movie. Because what you said reminded me of a movie, that makes me racist.
There's no train. There's kind of an apocalypse.
There's train. There's a train in that movie.
Okay, there's a train in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trains, a lot
so
of black
what you're admitting
ladies.
is that you're wrong.
You're admitting that you're a piece of shit.
You
How
accuse me
about
of being
that?
racist, and I don't see how that.
John, mediate. John,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BoyFlop episode 26.
Wow,
I'm Jonathan Young.
We're not that far along.
Coming at you live.
Shut up. Live. It's pre-recorded.
Anyways, so this dream ends where.
Shut up.
The dream ends where the lady freaks out because everyone died and jumps off a ledge and dies. So then I'm all alone.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Whoa. Dreams are bad.
Yeah, so like after we're the only two survivors, like in the immediate area or whatever,
It's
like
probably because you watched fucking Mad Max last night.
maybe I was actually thinking that is kind of like an apocalypse-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm always worried that I'll have dreams related to the things that I watch, and then I don't.
I don't remember what I dream about.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like ever.
Dream about
I just kind of like struggle to
pancakes.
fall asleep. Probably, I just struggle to fall asleep and then eventually wake up and say, "Oh wow, I actually fell asleep." Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like a very, very small handful of dreams that I had like during puberty, and that's it.
Yeah.
Care to go into detail, Mr. Puberty?
No, not at all.
Mr. Puberty.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of really vivid dreams in high school, and when I was like 5, and that's all I remember.
Okay. Anyways, welcome to BoyFlop. I think this is episode 17. I'm Family Jewel 7X.
I already introduced the episode.
Yeah, but
it's
I cut
too
it
late.
out because that
It's in
whole
the
thing was
past.
a mess.
You're a
Fine.
mess.
No one knows who you are. Who are you?
What?
Okay. Welcome to episode 17. I guess we're talking about dreams or something.
No, it's not.
And puberty and shit. No, I thought it was John was talking about.
I wasn't talking about anything
you were
for
talking-
most of that.
Puberty dreams.
You were talking about your puberty.
I had
or something.
The most vivid dream that I've had in my life was a dream that I had when I was like 6 years old, and it was the weirdest thing because looking back on it now, it's like, what the fuck? So the dream started out with literally like a cartoonish spiral.
Okay.
That would like start out a dream in a really bad cartoon.
Cool.
And then I was
Is your life just a trope, John?
right. Yeah. So and then I was looking at myself in third person, stranded on a ledge on a cliff with a bunch of penguins, and I was like 5 at the time, and I remember like asking the penguins like where am I? Like,
Yo, what up, fam?
Like, help me!
Yeah.
Like, I'm on this cliff with these penguins, and that's all I remember.
What do you mean these penguins?
Like,
I'm directly attacked by that statement right now.
that's like, I don't know why, but that dream. Oh, I do remember another dream. Oh, fuck.
So
I don't remember any.
no, dude, I for my entire life I have these reoccurring dreams that just and they're really fucked up. Like there's a few that like I don't know. I feel like I've told you guys some of them. There's one dream that I have like every few years that and I remember all the way back from like probably being like 3 or 4 having this dream where I'd be like in this place with my mom, and like it's like this interview thing, but then like these 2 people dark in suits or whatever, and one of them asks
Dark.
What?
Now who's racist?
Were they
Dark.
penguins?
Sorry. I should have. The room was dark.
I'm just being a dick.
The room was dark.
Yeah.
Yes. Jesus.
Were they
See, you're
penguins?
racist because you're going dark people.
I'm just making a joke.
Okay.
Jules, were they penguins?
Yeah. John and I are the same person.
Yeah.
Plot twist. It's the Matrix.
Family
Did you hear
John,
the,
7X Young.
The other Wachowski director came out as transgender.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, it's the Wachowski siblings now. It's not
Yeah.
the Wachowski brothers anymore.
I
Right.
think it said just the Wachowskis.
They go by
The
that now.
Wachowski directors, as I feel like what they're now saying.
Well, that's fine. That's good for them, I guess. But all of their recent movies have been bad.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, so then my mom gets taken in the other room by one of the people, and the other guy left in the room is sitting there like to asking me all these questions or something. And then he always asks me like the same question. He says like it's really cheesy and stupid, but he says like, hey, where do you live or something like
What
that.
is
And-
the name of your YouTube channel?
Right.
Should I like, comment, and or subscribe,
at
sir?
4 years old. No, but then he goes and then he like says, where are you gonna live? And I tell him where I live, and then he stabs me out of nowhere and says something along the lines of like, well, you're not gonna live there very much longer or something.
Oh,
and then
damn.
every time I have this dream, everything goes white, and I wake up on like an operating table with like this knife fucking slowly moving down into my
like a Lifetime
navel.
movie.
It sucks. No, and like it's one of those.
I've never remembered having a dream that traumatizing.
There's this other reoccurring dream that I have where there's like this Asian like kind of like guru kind of guy who like always gives me some kind of like this weird sage advice at the end of like this dream that like I don't know, like it like I'll be having this dream in this place that I've never been to, but it's always the same in this exact dream. And then there's this alleyway, and every time I get to that alleyway, I realize what the fuck is going on. I realize I'm going to see this guy again, and he's going to tell me something about how like I need to be what is it? It's something about like I need to be.
You should try Slim Fast.
I wish. That reminds me of the Futurama like dream advertisements. Anyways, it's usually something about like being able to like trust my own reality because this was all a dream and bullshit, and then I wake up.
Nice.
It's weird. I don't know. Like
your life is just a Lifetime movie. That my mom would watch.
The other dream that has stuck with me was also I think I was a teenager, and I'm at my aunt's house, and then we drive to this mall, and we go to the food court, and the librarian from my elementary school is serving pancakes at the food court. But you know, yeah, exactly. Cool. This is why it stuck with me.
Did they serve the pancakes like sandwiched in a book?
No,
like between the pages.
Here's where it gets weird. So so you know how like if you go to a buffet, they have those metal trays that they put the food in, and then they take out the metal tray and they refill it and they put it back.
Was it filled with books?
No, it had the pancakes in it, and she was like manning the buffet or whatever. But it was like a buffet. And so I take like the tongs or whatever because I want some pancakes, obviously, and I reach in to get the pancakes, but I can't reach them. It's like this bottomless tray.
What a nightmare!
Like as far as I reach,
tormented.
Yeah, it's
you like wake up sobbing.
Yeah, it's like I reach in for the pancakes and it just keeps going, but I can see the pancakes.
Anyway, next time I like wake up and like if I ever see you like having pancakes, I'm just gonna be like, did you have the dream? like deadly serious, just like, John, do we need to go see someone?
No.
I feel like you'd be eating the pancakes out of like spite for not being able to reach
like trembling wrist.
I don't know.
I have two types of dreams if I ever remember them, and they're both really stupid. In scenario A, something happens and all my teeth rot out of my head. It's really brutal. That sucks because it feels super real, and then I wake up and I like reach inside my mouth and I'm like, nope, teeth are still there.
Yeah.
Or something's chasing me and I run into a brick wall. Every single time.
Damn.
It's just an inspecific thing, run into a brick wall. Oh no, I fell off a cliff. Well, I hit the ground, which happens to be a brick wall. Fucking good. I'm being chased by a fucking, I don't know, like a fire truck, run into a brick wall, wake up, fuck, that was dumb, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Every time.
No, I definitely, like, that I feel like is a common dream. Not that one. The teeth rotting out of your head.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I've read that too.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That and balding, like losing all your hair and stuff.
I've definitely had balding dreams.
I've never had
any of these balding dreams. Realities. It's not that bad.
No, you're fine.
I've heard that people generally have like 8 dreams while they sleep, but they don't remember.
Yeah, because of how many times you dip in the REM sleep or whatever, or whatever.
That's why I get like people like I get a like I say I don't remember dreams because I know that I do. I just don't remember like I do.
Right.
I just you talk to like those people like I don't dream or something like that.
No,
it's just like shut up. You would retain them because you're stupid.
You would literally be in a fucking nut house if you didn't dream. Like it's like that episode of Star Trek.
Yeah.
I've been watching.
Did you get to the episode where they
don't spoil it?
I'm not going to spoil it. Did you get to the episode where there's the people who that's a spoiler. Okay. They talk really weird and like they're kind of wondering like why their translators aren't really like understanding, but they're kind of speaking English.
You're both nerds.
I don't think there's a couple episodes that you could be referring to, but I'm gonna guess not because there's so many of them.
Okay,
I'm halfway through the second season.
Oh god, no, you're not there yet.
Nerds.
No, there's this episode in the first season of The Next Generation, which I have been binge watching because I've lost control of my life.
Yep. I did the same thing 3 years ago.
And thanks for the vote of confidence. And the premise of the episode, Star Trek is great because it's like space CSI, except it was way before CSI, so it's more like CSI is
CSI if it were good, I hope.
Well, right. it's I feel like
CSI is terrible.
Right. Well, it's like they're in space, but everything is based off of like actual science.
Yeah.
And so they sort of like come up with these really cool concepts of like mysteries that these space explorers could solve that feel like they fit within the realm of what could possibly be out there in the universe. Right. But it's always something fresh. And obviously they were limited by the special effects of the late 80s, early 90s, but it's still really fucking dope. Anyway, this episode, they go to this planet that's emitting some, or I don't remember if it's like a nebula around the planet or if it's like a life form that's doing it, but like basically there are these like signals that are hitting their ship that prevents everybody on the ship from going into REM sleep.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that one.
Yeah, so like this frequency is like hitting their brains and like preventing their brains from going into REM sleep. And so basically the premise of the episode is that the entire crew starts going insane because like first they start to like get drunk or like act drunk like you do when you're really, really tired. Yeah. And then they start actually like losing their minds. So they have to anyway, they figure out a way, spoiler, to fix it so they can sleep. But anyway, Star Trek is good. Watch it.
It's definitely like Next Generation is definitely the most like, it's the easiest one to get into. I feel like even like the original, like Captain Kirk, Star Trek is kind of like, I mean, that one's kind of not too bad to get into, but that one's really difficult now.
Yeah.
I feel like it has aged well-ish, but like because it was like, I mean, that was like 70s.
You have to watch it keeping in mind its age.
Yeah.
So if you don't do that, then it's not nearly as good.
But Next Gen, I feel like definitely aged pretty well. Like I feel like it's pretty.
It's just really solid. It's a really good testament to what Star Trek is all about.
You're not really into sci-fi, are you, Rich?
Not particularly.
Yeah, like, I don't know, is there a reason?
I can't really, I don't know, it just doesn't really, like, grab my interest that much.
Really?
Like, I think, like, the closest, like, thing I could say that I enjoy in terms of, like, any sci-fi is, like Sunshine, the movie was really cool. Have you ever seen that? It's by Danny Boyle, the guy who did 28 Days Later.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, it's like a really, I mean, you know me, I like stressful and depressing movies, and this is very much a stressful and depressing movie. Because it's about people who are like trying to, like the sun's dying, and they're trying to like kind of like restart it in a certain way by like doing something to it. So it's like a manned space mission, and like
you told me about that.
Yeah, you would enjoy it, John. I know.
Yeah, I'm sure I would enjoy it.
Despite the fact that it's doom and gloom, like the message you would probably appreciate.
Yeah.
I don't know, like in terms of just like straight up like nerdy sci-fi shit. I mean, I can do like.
You're not
Star Wars.
You're not a fan of Armageddon with Liv Tyler?
I still haven't seen that.
Oh my god! Like it's.
I thought you were talking about the movie.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, like the Michael Bay movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that movie's good.
It's funny.
It's really bad.
It's like I don't know. I watch it the same reason I would watch like Pearl Harbor, just because like you don't go in there and just like
that's also Michael Bay.
Yeah, I know. It's just. You don't go in that movie because it's a good movie. You go into that movie because there's going to be like
we should watch Top Gun.
Dude, I am so fucking down to watch Top Gun.
I've never seen it.
I've seen it like 700 times.
I haven't seen it either.
Dude, we did fucking Danger Zone.
I hadn't seen Frozen when I covered Let It Go either.
Interesting.
Well, would you consider like that Mad Max movie we just watched to be like sci-fi-ish, or is that more just kind of like post-apocalyptic?
It's post-apocalyptic. I
mean, it's that kind of it's close-ish.
Post-apocalyptic isn't the genre that is exclusive from like different from sci-fi.
I guess okay, yeah. I feel like sci-fi. It's probably under the like umbrella of sci-fi, like since it is a science fiction.
If you go to a bookstore and look for post-apocalyptic books, they're going to be in the sci-fi section.
Right. True.
Not necessarily. Like The Road wouldn't be. That'd be under drama.
Well, yeah.
Like there's and like well I guess like I Am Legend probably that might be I don't know genres whatever.
Right. See, genres are weird because like you could consider Star Wars fantasy.
Right.
Yeah,
like did you watch the science fantasy versus science fiction video.
And that's basically Star Wars versus Star Trek is fantasy,
totally.
Fantasy versus science fiction, at least in space.
It depends. But to answer your question, no, I'm not really big on like science, which is dumb because it seems like I'd be really interested in it, and like for all I know, I am. It's just I've never really watched anything that's grabbed my attention.
I feel like like a lot of people have.
I've seen the Star Trek movies, like the new ones with the fucking Chris Pine and those nerds.
Did you enjoy those?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they're action movies, so whatever.
The Star Trek shows are like those movies, but A, slightly worse special effects, and B, a lot less Hollywood, a lot more substance.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
See, so I probably would like that then, because
I think
Star Trek's rad. Like really, like to be.
Well, I have to figure like because there's all these shows that like are like easy to dismiss, like oh Doctor Who, oh fucking like, even like My Little Pony, but there's like there's something that's drawing all these people in and making them obsess over it. And Star Trek, whatever fucking series it is, they all have like their own little cliques and people who obsess over it. So it's like, okay, something obviously is grabbing these people, you know, and I just haven't really given it a chance, or I haven't got it. Like Undertale's actually a little like that. If we're just gonna go beyond like a lot of people are just like, I don't get it.
I don't know. I think the appeal is like I have been watching The Next Generation like while I answer emails and stuff like that, and it's fun because it's not just we're in space and we're fighting aliens.
I'd assume it's a little more substantial.
Well, but it's actually like Gene Roddenberry is actually kind of a fucking genius, because not only does he Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek, he throws in,
who unfortunately died in the middle of Next Generation. It's really sad. Like you'll get to the episode where like it comes up like in memory of Gene Roddenberry, and it's just like no. It's really sad.
Anyway, it's so first of all, it was like Star Trek as it was coming out was always like the most progressive show ever. So like the first Star Trek show, which is dated now, but the first Star Trek show was, I think, the first show to have a leading African American woman in it ever. Also to have a lot of leading women. Granted, the first Star Trek did have a lot of sort of like misogyny, girls in miniskirts, but like
that. And wasn't there like the first on-screen like man and alien romance or something?
I believe it was the first on-screen interracial kiss.
Oh yeah,
because
that
it was
one.
Between Captain Kirk and Uhura. So it was the first interracial kiss ever on TV, first African American leading female on TV ever. In fact, Martin Luther King, because Star Trek was airing during like Martin Luther King's whatever, like his legacy. So Martin Luther King actually sat down the actress who plays Uhura and was like, "This is important what you're doing." So like, don't leave the show. I know you're literally getting people like hating really hard, because this was like 70s or whatever. So like she was literally getting death threats for being on the show. And MLK was like, you have to do this for everybody. But anyway, cool. So it's fun because it's way ahead of its time always. So like it presents these really mature ethical questions about, at what point does artificial intelligence become human per se? And if we met another form of intelligent life in the universe, how would we go about dealing with that? And how should we go about dealing with that? And also
important questions.
It throws these really fucking mature questions at you, and then has these really fleshed out dynamic characters interact with each other and present pretty much all of these different viewpoints on the question and deal with it. And also, on top of that, it's so fleshed out that like they've presented like, here's a very in-depth race of aliens that has their own culture and their own customs and acts in a certain way, in the same way that humans have their own cultures and customs. And here is sort of a simulation of how these alien cultures would interact with each other if they bumped into each other in space. So not only is it incredibly fleshed out and in-depth in favor of like actually what the fuck would happen if we met aliens, but also it's reminiscent of political allegory. So it's sort of like the interactions between, like, say, the Klingons and Starfleet, or the Vulcans and Starfleet is very reminiscent of our own history as humans when cultures have interacted.
Right. So it's probably like kind of obvious when you're watching it and you're like, oh, hey,
well, I mean, it's not like this is an allegory for African people. It's not like that, but it's like this is not only
it's like making commentary.
Yeah, it's not only very forward thinking because it says this is what we could be like in the future, but it's also it's sort of a callback to learning from our past and stuff like that. Yeah. And there's even moments in Star Trek where like the captain of the ship, Jean-Luc Picard, will be like, well, in the 21st century, humans were just terribly brutal and stupid, and but we got over that after a couple hundred years, and we stopped fighting each other senselessly. So it kind of like Gene Roddenberry kind of very masterfully like pokes fun at like the 80s and 90s when like Vietnam but whatever, like those not that 80s, but like when like
don't be mistaken, the 80s were violent as fuck.
Right, when that shit was going on. Gene Roddenberry was one of the only people in Hollywood and in TV that was willing to
like making a point about it,
right? And literally saying like it's funny because in the future we're literally going to look at ourselves right now and say, wow, these guys were fucking idiots.
Yeah. I mean, like we look back even like 50 years and we're like, why are people so fucking stupid?
Right.
And right now we're about to elect Donald Trump as president.
Anyway,
I'm so gonna be done for make that great America again. Can't take America.
We gonna get into this.
Now that I've ranted about how much I love Star Trek for the past,
it's bad.
There's this game called Artemis that I really want to play with you guys.
You've mentioned that before.
Yeah, it's pretty much Star Trek the game with your friends. Like
you said it was like super intense.
It's not really super. Well, I guess it can get super intense, but like it's just fun. It's just fun because everybody has like a job, and like if one person fucks it up, then everybody's just like, John, get to the weapons! Like what the fuck?
Is that's not that game with the driving the ship thing?
Yeah, it is. You drive. So one person drives the ship,
and the other person does the weapons.
Usually, you'll have a captain who has like the captain doesn't even need to have a thing.
I don't think we're thinking about the same game. I was thinking about that game that we played with like the circular ship, and you have to like.
Oh, that was
that was like an indie
Lovers
game.
in a Space-Time Continue. I don't remember what it was called, but like
that sounds awful.
Yeah. Well, no, it was fun. We played it. Remember? It had a weird name. Yeah, we played. It was like when we just moved here. We played it on the projector. That was the one where the circle went right.
I was that's not like Star Trek at all. What are you talking about?
Artemis is literally it's like a minimum of like 3-4 players or whatever. You need a captain. Actually, I don't even think I think you need a captain. The captain doesn't need anything. All he has to do or she has to do is look at like the projector and pretty much tell everybody like the orders and stuff.
Yeah.
Then you have one person on the helm who has to drive the ship, somebody on weapons, somebody on communications.
That's
and
dope.
Like it's so fucking cool. We gotta play it.
That's dope.
The problem with it is it's kind of like graphically shit and like kind of like I really wish they would like do something like that with like No Man's Sky or something like.
You said the secret word. You said the secret word.
Like I remember we were.
It's gonna suck, John.
I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope it's not Spore 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing Artemis.
The people. Sorry to interrupt. I just like people have actually joked that like upon release of that game that like the lead dev of Hello Games is just going to come out and like tear a mask off and be like, "It's me, Peter Molyneux."
I thought you were going to say Todd Howard. I was hoping for that.
The same thing, and then Peter Molyneux president. She's like,
coming at you with our next open world RPG.
Who wants Fallout 4.5 the sequel? Another $60 in my pocket. Thank you very much.
Everyone's saying no. Is like that's what I thought. It's coming out next week.
Yeah. Who's excited for my game? Silence. That's right. You all are.
Everybody is beside themselves.
Like No Man's Sky does kind of seem like a Peter Molyneux-esque game.
Who is Peter Molyneux?
He's the guy behind like Spore and stuff.
Oh yeah. I didn't
Spore was supposed to be like this really cool like sciencey like make your own creatures, but everybody just made penis monsters and then like threw the game away.
I don't know, man. Like I had a lot of fun with Spore.
I actually did too.
When I was like in middle school.
Yeah, I believe it.
It came out in 2008, I think.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, I would have been a senior in high school when that came out, and like I remember my friends and I were just like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be so good!" And we played, and we're like, "This sucks."
Yeah, I mean. it just felt so grindy because it was like, yeah, there's a million planets, but there's literally only one thing to do on them.
You can find the Earth planet and colonize it.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know. You can do that in Mass Effect too, and like you can go to like our galaxy and then just be like, oh look, it's Earth, and then probe Earth. It's cool.
It's fucked up.
But yeah, what the fuck? There's this game that came out recently. Have you guys heard about Black Desert Online?
Yeah, that's an MMO, isn't it?
It's an MMO, and it has like absolutely the craziest character creation I had ever.
I remember the character creator was like debuted last year as a standalone, and everyone was like losing their mind over it.
Oh, that's that thing.
You've seen things on Reddit.
I have seen it
of people making like Emma Watson and shit like in the game, and it looks phenomenal.
Is the game itself good? I think I saw like one of our Twitch friends playing it.
Excessive Profanity was Profanity was playing it the other day.
Didn't that come out like a year ago?
No, it came out like a few days ago.
That was the character creator.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like
it's an MMO. I mean,
it looks like it plays a little bit like WoW, but upgraded. You know, like I feel like it's I don't know. It got like a 7 or a 4 out of 5 and 7 out of 10 on like pretty much across the board.
Like a 7, I mean 4 out of 5.
Well, it's the same kind of score.
Oh, I thought
7 to 8, 7 to 8 out of 10.
I was thinking 10, and then 5 came out of my mouth, and I realized that 4.5 out of 5 is really good.
It seems like it's a very mediocre MMO with a mind-blowing character creator. But I haven't played it, so I don't know. I want to play it, but it's $60, so it's just like I'm the kind of person that would pay $60 to play a character creator because I always just sit there and I fucking.
The problem with MMOs is the same problem that we've been having since WoW debuted: is that you can't improve on WoW, or at least if you can, no one's done it yet.
Right.
I mean,
well, I mean that's the thing. Is like most MMOs. I mean.
They just WoW
try to be WoW. I mean, I played Lord of the Rings online for a little while.
So did I.
Did you like it?
As a Tolkien fan, I liked it.
Yeah.
As a gamer, it irritated me.
Well, yeah, it was grindy and dry.
It was grindy and fucking DRM-y and fucking. It was like, pay another $20 and get to go to Rohan. You know? It's like if you and it just. Like, it was fun at first because it was like...
I'm running around all the... Like, it's very like, detailed.
I'm a fucking wizard in fucking Middle Earth, and I'm fucking... I'm helping Aragorn save the hobbits, and it just, like... My childhood was having a good time, but then it was like... there's 100 elves running around in Bree, and...
It's not even that so much. Well, I know where you're going with that, but
it just didn't feel right because it was like, oh, tee-hee-hee, there's... I mean, it's an MMO. You walk into an area and there's 50 people fighting monsters and waiting for spawns and talking to each other and trading, and it didn't feel like Middle Earth.
Do you want to be my GF?
Well, yeah, there's this problem with MMOs in that, like, when you're playing with a million billion other people, you can't be the one hero to save everyone because everyone's the one hero to save everyone. It's not going to happen. Which brings me to the point of the only MMO that I've ever played more than, and I think is better than WoW, in my opinion, is RuneScape.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
RuneScape is the shit.
RuneScape's amazing.
It's so good.
So apparently, have you played the new one yet?
Briefly, yeah.
What did you think? Because I haven't played it yet.
It's like kind of handholdy. It's a little bit prettier. It's cool that it's an HTML5.
Cool.
It's still RuneScape.
Yeah.
And that's cool because, like, you think about like MMOs and their fault, and it's like, oh, go kill 5 things and then bring back 5 things. Hooray, goodbye. But the thing with RuneScape is they always find a way to make it interesting with the limited system, like the limited graphical thing that they have, like a browser-based MMO. Yeah. Even way back in like 2000, like all the quests were super interesting.
Yeah, dude.
Like the Haunted Mansion thing, or like the rescuing the princess thing, where you have to like dress up and invade like the little thing and be all clever and stuff.
Yeah, no, RuneScape's rad. I definitely I didn't play WoW past level 15. I just couldn't get into it.
My mom didn't let me play WoW because it was subscription based.
I played WoW a lot.
I was actually just talking to somebody about you know what MMO I played, and like I hate myself because I loved it a lot. Did you guys hear of Sims Online?
I didn't.
Did you? Okay, so this is...
I'm sorry.
This is a thing that happened. So fucking Maxis and EA Games thought to make... And this was, I think, before Sims 2 came out. They wanted to make the first Sims in an online environment where you could essentially... there were like residential areas where you have a starting amount of money and then you can buy a lot, but the thing is like anybody can go to your lot. Anybody like in the world, they could just be like, you know, you can lock it, you could whatever. It's essentially like, it was essentially Second Life but with Sims mechanics. And because of that, and this is why I fucking loved it, you could literally start your own business in The Sims and then hire people who spent all this time grinding cooking or grinding music to work in your business. That's cool. Like that was cool. So then they could be making money off you who was making money for like, so it was like Second Life with.
And then your mom walks in and says, why don't you go get a fucking job? You got fucking your fake business in your fucking computer. Go outside.
Yeah. So that sounds like Eve. I was gonna bring up Eve because
Eve's dope.
Eve is an MMO
I'm too dumb for it, but Eve's dope.
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. Is that Eve is an MMO that is very different than WoW.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I was literally just gonna say, like, I was thinking to myself, like, as you were talking about, well, we need to not make WoW clones. I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if somebody made an RPG where it was just like you're in a world, you're not the hero, you just have to fucking survive in a world with all these other people. And then I was sitting here thinking, there's already something like that. And then I was like, oh fuck, it's Eve. Eve. But the problem with that is that if you're in an online world with a million other people and you're trying to survive, that game isn't stopping.
Yeah,
like that server isn't closing down unless maintenance, but like the game is going to keep going without you there, which inevitably leads to a meta game that rewards players who do nothing but play the game.
Right.
So that's what has happened.
Players are crazy.
Right. That's what's happened in Eve is that what started out as, hey, it's this virtual space world and it's going to be amazing, has literally turned into a virtual space world. Right. So you can't just visit the virtual space world after work. You have to live in the virtual space world in order to actually get anywhere. So like if you want to command a fleet in Eve, because the whole selling point of Eve is that you can buy your own bootstraps in an MMO, get stronger than all these other players and command a fleet of spaceships, but you're not going to get there because you're not spending 24 hours playing like all these other kids.
And it seems like the learning.
Also like you have to kind of be like cooperative with someone.
Yeah, that and it feels like the learning curve is ridiculous. Like I remember like watching people play the game, and
it's insane.
It's a world. It has its own economy.
There are so many like skills, quote unquote, that are just retarded.
Well, it all just looked like really grindy and really like you literally had to sit there and work. Like it didn't even seem like when I was watching the game, like, and I knew people who would like have like desk jobs where they would, you know, do a 9 to 5 and then they'd come home and then they'd play that until they went to bed, and it was just like, it just kind of seems like you're coming home from work to work until you go to bed.
I mean, and granted,
this is fun work.
I guess
it feels like an escape to some people.
I guess,
but it brings up an interesting question. And people forget about Eve. Like, I just forgot about Eve. Rich just forgot about it. Like, people forget about it. But Eve is interesting because it, even more than WoW did, it blurs the line between what we consider work and entertainment and what we consider, I guess, too much immersion.
Yeah.
Like, at what point is a video game too immersive that it becomes no longer fun? Because everybody always talks about immersion with games like Skyrim and Fallout and all these things. But it's like, what if the game is so good that if you leave, you're gonna lose? Like,
I don't know if that's immersion more than it is just like being attached to something that's not really substantial.
Yeah,
it's just like, what are you pouring all of these hours into for? Because the same thing happened with WoW. I mean, there's so many, like, I can name so many people from back home that literally all they do is play WoW. I was one of them for a while.
Yeah, there's videos of children who lose their subscriptions and sodomize themselves with remote controllers. There's like that couple. Fake. I know, it's funny though. It's
there's the Russian kid we watched.
He kept making videos.
No, I know.
Yeah, and all of them are hilarious.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Are fun.
There was also that couple from I think there was like some couple from Japan that like sold their children for WoW things. I can't remember what it was.
There's a kid who died because he played for 3 days straight.
Yeah, it was just
Remember, like, you could actually like.
God, I remember the fucking like news after that. Like, video games are killing people now. I'm like, God damn it, that one kid had to be an idiot and die.
Yeah. Well, there's also like an economy outside of the economy for WoW. Like, people who would literally just farm like shitty items that were desirable and sell them for real money.
Yeah, people did that with RuneScape too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
And then there's the whole selling your account thing, which, you know, like you can get an account up to like level
People
max,
do that in League of Legends.
Yeah, right.
It's interesting. And I mean, that sort of takes you down the rabbit hole of like, well, life is pointless, so I might as well spend my time getting imaginary points instead of pointless points.
Fun for you,
right? Yeah, exactly.
And like I would sometimes get baffled by people who did play like I don't know, like MMOs all the fucking time, or like MapleStory, RuneScape, WoW, and like I played WoW a lot, and there's still people that like would just like come home with like a fifth and just like slam the fifth while playing WoW until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Go to bed, wake up, go to work, come home, and do the same fucking thing, and be alcoholic and just play WoW all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
And we got to the point where people are like, "You have a problem," and they're like, "I don't have a fucking problem." It's like, no, all you do is drink and play WoW.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fun, and then it's just like, who are you to say that's, you know?
Well, I mean,
who are you to say?
Like that's fucked up. But like,
but who are you to say that anyone should? That brings up another philosophical rabbit hole of
video games.
of is it the obligation of anybody to tell anybody else which addictions they should or shouldn't have?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, if you care about somebody, then it becomes
like,
about you.
It's like in this case with this particular person I'm thinking of, which I'm not going to name names. It was obvious that like both were feeding into each other, and both were incredibly destructive, and it was obvious the dude was fucking depressed.
Right.
It was so obvious.
Right. But like, but it's interesting how like with some things, everyone is really quick to be like, yo, dude, you should really fucking stop drinking. But oftentimes with WoW, people won't say something like that. Yeah. Like with video games, it'll be like, it's almost I'm like just playing video games. But like you can have the same. I mean, obviously not. Your body can't depend on it in the same way that it can depend on alcohol. But you can have
you can psychological addictions.
I was literally just going to say you can have a very, very serious psychological addiction
like,
to video games.
There was literally after I left high school, and like my friends and like who are my age and like a year older lived in a townhouse in Grand Rapids, Michigan that was named the Wow House.
Yep.
And that place was the worst.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was always just a fucking mess. There was always someone up playing, like, probably multiple people just playing this fucking game. Pizza boxes fucking everywhere. Everyone was either just like playing the game or out working or sleeping. I don't know. It was kind of the best. Like, it was cool. But like, I don't know. Like, just going over there was always just like thriving. Like, it was always just like someone doing something, usually on WoW.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was cool, but at the same time, I look back and I'm like, man, that was pretty destructive.
Yeah, I don't. It just it's interesting. It just kind of makes me think about like what people value and why people value it, and then I guess just like
with the whole addiction thing that you brought up earlier, I feel like with something like that, you in both regards, I think there's something to say that when the people that you care about are hurting,
I agree.
Then I feel like then they have all the right in the world to come forward about it. But like,
I agree. But I've had many situations where I have come forward about somebody that I care about having a problem like that, and they've been like, I don't give a shit. It's my life, and I can do what I want. So at what point is it?
Then you can't do anything.
Right.
Well, I mean, you can, but
I mean, it's just an interesting question about like, hey, we've got more or less 80 years if we're lucky. What do we value as far as spending our time? Because like, oftentimes people who don't understand video games would say, go outside and experience the real world, but like,
and that's different.
But what? Well, yeah, and that's an extreme. That's an extreme example. But but going off of that example, what is it about going outside that is inherently more valuable than staying inside and playing video games? As far as spending time doing what you want to do in your own life, I mean, there isn't. You know. But then it's a rabbit hole.
You could argue that there's like certain health benefits, but really all it is just kind of like a party not understanding one thing and suggesting another that they do understand.
Right. But I mean, even with health benefits, that brings up the question: well, is it anybody's obligation to be healthy at all if they don't want to?
Yeah. If they just want to sit
and then from EVE Online, we have then descended into just a fucking chasm of just terrible
maybe
questions.
They'll make a Star Trek episode about it.
Maybe they will.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, I feel like
are stupid.
I feel like sci-fi in general, though, is like, and I mean, I think it's funny that we kind of like, even though we went into like WoW and stuff, we kind of moved over to the sci-fi element of the other MMO games, I feel like I want to say that sci-fi media in general is really like, there's a lot of different kinds, even though it seems like everything is just like, I'm in space, woohoo.
I thought of something sci-fi related that I actually really enjoy. Have either of you guys seen Contact? The movie Contact. It was written by Carl Sagan.
I've heard about it.
It's fucking great. It's so good.
Isn't that about like they meet aliens?
No, it's about people who
you might be thinking of First Contact, which is that Star Trek movie.
No,
No. He's kind of right. Contact is about like having first contact with an alien race and not really knowing how to tackle it.
Is that like the chick that works at like that big
it's the
satellite dish? Yeah, I have seen that.
It's fucking good.
I don't remember it, but I have seen it.
That movie's fucking great.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you were talking about like what would happen if, and this is the scenario of what would happen if we accidentally said hi to aliens and they said hi back.
Yeah,
that's the scenario.
Yeah,
it's really cool,
dude. You would fucking love Star Trek if you love that kind of shit.
So there's actually a Star Trek movie called First Contact, which is essentially about
I was about to say bad, and you can look at it.
It's actually, honestly, there's this funny thing in the Star Trek community where everybody kind of agrees that every other Star Trek movie that came out is fucking awful, and then every other one is like good. This was one of the good ones. It was so they
which race is that with the Klingons?
It was with the Borg.
I remember that movie.
Yeah. So essentially, like the Borg is like this collective, like hive mind race that just like tries to assimilate every living being into their collective. Essentially, the movie is about how the Borg figure out where humans are from and decide that they're going to go back in time before humans make first contacts with other intelligent life in the universe, and then just assimilate them so that they like so that anyways, like I can't exactly remember why, but they go back in time, they go back after them, and they meet I can't remember the actor, but he's like a famous actor, and he's apparently the first person to like make the warp drive so that they can like go faster than light or something like that. And that's what actually triggers I think the Vulcans to be like, oh hey, you guys, humans aren't stupid, what up, like essentially. So it's kind of the same thing, I guess. Except with that added
so that's one of those alternate timeline things in Star Trek, where it just creates a canonical mess of
I feel
multiple timelines and universes. Because I was going to ask if that's canon with the Next Generation episode where they first meet the Borg.
And I'm like,
they undo it. I mean, spoiler alert, it's an old movie, but like they undo it.
Like, you went back in time.
Right. I'm like thinking now, the more I think about it, because I didn't really consider some of these movies like sci-fi related at all, but like, and now I'm thinking about it, stuff like Primer. Have you guys seen Primer?
No.
That is a very, very, very intense, really hard to follow movie about time travel, presented from a super realistic point of view.
Yeah.
It's a huge mindfuck. And like, it's made on a super limited budget. It's really cool. They made it on like $5,000. It's just a bunch of college students. Damn. But it's super cool. And if you look up like people trying to map the timeline for a movie, it's just a fucking mess. Stuff like that, and like Donnie Darko.
Oh god, I love Donnie Darko.
Yeah, stuff that's like really cathartic and kind of has to do with like time travel. I usually end up enjoying.
Yeah,
Star Trek.
Well, yeah, like time travel. Like I mean, John, you and I were kind of talking about like because we both DM Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And I was like, I was talking.
We do.
I was talking to you about how I'm very like kind of in the world that I created, and I kind of base off of my whatever is off of that. I've had thoughts of like introducing other parties that I've played into other parties so that they meet each other, but like then I feel like that starts implying like, what if I go back to the other party and like then it creates alternate timelines and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's actually a problem that I'm dealing with right now because I'm playing the same campaign with two different groups.
I'm surprised you haven't like accidentally like
I don't know how long my other group is gonna keep going because there has been some tension.
D&D drama.
There's been some tension between the players, but
tensions and drama.
It's nice because I don't need to learn two different worlds for two different groups, but it's also like, okay, this group did this thing with this character, and this group didn't do that, but instead they did this, and you guys are just after the fork in the timelines.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's probably going to get a lot worse for me as a DM if both groups keep going as they are.
That's confusing. Yeah, I very quickly decided against like any kind of like introducing of any stories into other stories, because like it get really fucking confusing. But I don't know, like I feel like that's like if you want to fuck up whatever you're making, media, art, movie, book, whatever, introducing alternate timelines or time travel, like,
oh god, it's so easy to fuck up.
Fuck it up like, so bad.
That's why, like, even all those movies, like, I know there's more than just those two, because like every time I watch them, I'll like, that's really cool, and then I watch them again and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, just
you have to think of like every single angle that you need to cover, and that's so hard.
Well, and I'm thinking, like, now that you say that, I'm thinking of Harry Potter, and just like
Azkaban?
Azkaban, but then just Rowling in general, like, why aren't people using time turners everywhere?
Exactly.
That's kind of a plot hole, I feel like.
Oh, dude, I could literally... I'm not going to do it, but I could talk for an entire BoyFlop episode about plot holes in Harry Potter that piss me off.
There's, you know, they're children's books.
Yeah,
but when you read them when you're a kid, you're like, this is great. But yeah, I recently reread Azkaban, and like, I was like, why don't they just fucking use time through all the fucking get? But then like if Rowling were sitting here, she'd probably be like, oh, that is a magic that has been forbidden. It is controlled by the ministry. It is out of our control.
Whatever.
Well, they do kind of sort of like cover it by saying like, don't let
yourself be seen. She tries to cover it up. I don't know.
They're like, don't let yourself be seen, but like the reasoning is kind of shitty.
But it's like, okay, but then every single Auror in Harry Potter fighting dark wizards would be equipped with one of these.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like it just irritates.
The mechanic is cool for the time, but then later on you're like,
it's cool because it's like, it makes for a really interesting plot, but then as soon as you have introduced time travel, everything's fucked.
Yeah, and then if you introduce that the heroes can get the time travel,
then why can't the villains get the time travel? You would think the Voldemort, after taking over the Ministry of Magic, would have access to many time turners.
Unless you find a way to limit it in a certain way, and the thing that comes to mind instantly for me is Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Because it's like you have 2 points you can go to, and that's it. Mm-hmm. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
If you're going to introduce time travel into your...
It just irritates me because, like, the argument similar to, I guess... Not really, but like similar to like, Star Trek versus Star Wars, people always argue like Harry Potter versus Lord of the Rings, and it just fucking pisses me off because like Tolkien, there are no glaring plot holes. Like you could say like the Eagles, but even the Eagles are symbolic.
Yeah.
And if you read Tolkien knowing about the symbology that he uses, it's really clear.
Symbolism?
I just took a 3-hour nap, Family Jewels. Symbology.
It's literally a line in the Boondock Saints. Somebody is like, what's the symbology? And then
if you think of the symbiosis. No, it's fine. I know what you're saying.
I will never live this down.
No, John, just yesterday I almost called people from the Philippines fallopians.
Fine. Anyway. Fucking, I will literally argue to the death that while Harry Potter, it's apples to oranges. While Harry Potter are great books, is a great series.
Yeah,
grammar.
Those were
while they are great, there are many more plot holes than Tolkien.
Yeah. No, I could agree with you there.
Fucking get me started, man.
But yeah, no.
Bad.
Bad, yeah. We're fucking nerds.
Bad.
Are we fucking nerds? I was doing the lawn today, and like, I waved to our neighbor. Like our neighbor, like right over here.
Did they just like call the cops and lock the door?
No, but I realized that in like the 4 or 5 months we've lived here, that's the first time I've ever interacted with a neighbor.
We need some context. You're outside. We don't have a lawnmower, so are you using a weed whacker to trim the lawn?
I'm using a weed whacker. I've got my
there, neighbor.
headphones. I'm wearing aviators because I know I'm safety.
You look like just a drunk douche. Just like, why is he weed whacking the lawn? Like, I don't know. I think he's retarded.
A drunk fucking like Family Jewels hair.
Yeah.
Just
you're saying this is a weird lawnmower.
Oh boy.
Our neighbors are really nice, but I just I realized at that moment, just like,
we're the worst.
We're literally just like, I want to know what other houses think. They just think
we never fucking leave the house.
Like, I mean, they see like 3 probably young adults. Like,
they see 3 young adults leaving the house with boxes full of parcels that are unexplained,
smearing shit all over this fucking pavement.
They probably hear the muffled sounds of Disney songs being sung very loudly.
It's funny.
Disney songs and penis jokes from my room, and just fat jokes from Rich's. It's just
like we'll literally be out in public and he'll be like, I'm gonna hungry, and I'll just be like, here we go, everyone. I'll like actually make a point to be really loud and be like, hey, look, everyone, he's hungry. Someone wants food.
Yeah, there's like actual, like, he'll make a point.
People like look and just like scamper away really quick, like really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Jessica, did you just hear somebody say bad?
Yeah.
Like off in the distance.
Pretty much, yeah. I remember like, in particular, there was one time we went to Starbucks, and like, for context, like, I get like black coffee, like no calories and whatever.
You're fucking racist.
Rich makes fun of me the most for being like fat and overeating when I actually.
That's the joke, is that you don't overeat nor are you fat.
Right.
You piece of shit.
So it's funny, like. I got a coffee, and I have an unhealthy coffee addiction. I'll admit it. I drank the whole thing, the whole Trent of coffee, and then we're walking back to the car, and I was like, I kind of want another coffee, and Rich is like, here we go. He wants more food, and there's somebody actually like walking past us, like looking at him like he's fucking
I like made eye contact, and I was like, can you believe this? And then
why have I never seen any of this happen?
You don't go to Starbucks with us. I was just like, can you even believe this? And then they like kind of like looked away, like kind of like unnerved, and just like scampered away. And then I like looked around, just like, does anyone take issue with this? Does anyone object to this fucking morbid display here?
I'm pretty sure I was like crying from laughing at that point, or actual like embarrassment. I don't know.
Funny.
You had a friend over who shares your
that was an interesting wake up call.
I stayed up all night, and I stayed up all night. I got to a certain point in the night, and I was like, I'm releasing a video in an hour. I might as well just stay up for that hour and just put out the video by hand and see how people are reacting to it instead of going to bed. And I hear this noise, and I'm like, fuck, is somebody at the door? And at first I was like, oh, it's probably the dude from our property management here to fix the steps. So I was like, shit, gotta like make it look like I didn't stay up all night, and fucking just like
not
get to the
like
door.
A drunk piece of shit.
Right, exactly. And I get to the door, and just these 2 like kids in their 20s just like staring at me like, hi. And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, we're Rich's friends. And I'm like, oh, nice. So, okay, like, here, come in. I think he's sleeping. And your friend was like, oh, I'll just wake him up. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of like hesitantly led him up to your room, and I'm like, all right, I'll leave you to it. And I shut my door, and I just hear, you're fat. You're bad.
Yeah. So that's where he gets it from.
Oh, it's him, and it's like several other people from back home. It's not just me.
Yeah.
There's more people like that.
Oh God.
And then like we were like it was my friend Nate and his wife Sarah, and like they had come from Michigan to visit. And I was like shooting the shit with him for a little bit, and then Jules had like come out of his room around like noon or something, and like the first thing that Nate says to him is, "You're fat." And I was just like, I swear I didn't coach him.
I actually laughed. I pretty much expected it from like what you've said. But it's funny, we were talking about that too, where just like, I mean, I feel like you and I have very specific kind of humors, like, you know, between your like fat jokes and my like bullshit. And like it all comes back from
care
like
to repeat that,
and like whenever I'm like okay, so I mean Rich gets his, you know, some of his humor from the friends back home. Me, my band has like this very like specific kind of humor with like mostly just like dick jokes, and actually instead of like instead of like making fun of people, like almost like embarrassing the other person. Like we thrive. There's this one time that we went to like this Chinese restaurant, and my guitarist has some slight yellow fever. Those who don't know,
I don't know how that works.
He's attracted to the eastern.
That yellow fever.
That yellow fever. So,
I thought you were referring to the disease.
Actual disease.
The disease that I thought was wiped out centuries ago.
The bubonic plague. Is that what you were thinking?
Wasn't there an actual historic yellow fever?
I don't know, but essentially what happened, and I mean, he's in like a really good relationship for a few years with his girlfriend or whatever.
He
and like,
is or he was?
Is
Okay.
And we went to the sushi restaurant, and there's like this really hot waitress, and I was just like, yo, Christian, dude, waitress is fucking banging, right? And he's like, I guess he's fine. I'm like, dude, I know you, man. I know you. You're probably sweating when she's coming over. And he's like, dude, I have a girlfriend, dude. I'm just like, dude, what are you gonna say to her, man? Like, what are you gonna say when she comes over? He's like, Jules, shut the fuck up. Like, and I'm like, dude, Christian, just like, do you want to like talk to me? Like, okay, pretend like I'm her. And then finally, like she comes over and taking the order, and Christian like actually just starts like going red for like no fucking reason, because I'm just like staring at him like, what are you gonna say, man?
Good.
But like, yeah, that, and just pretty much exclaiming that other members of the band just have like huge dicks like in public and stuff, and it's really funny.
Good.
But anyways, like
the worst.
Yeah, I feel like everybody like is kind of like that, especially people who I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people look up to people who have, I don't know, like confidence in how like in comedy or whatever, and their jokes and their original jokes and stuff like that, because I feel like a lot of people try to be funny and fail at it because they're trying to like build their humor upon like no basis, if that makes sense. Whereas like everybody, I guarantee you, like everybody who like you've thought like has some kind of like unique humor or jokes that are really funny. It's rooted somewhere, and usually in a group of people that they've probably stole everything from.
Well, that's just what memes are.
That's what memes are. That's what music can be. Yeah. Pretty much.
Humor is weird because it's like, because everybody thinks that different things are funny.
Right.
And like we could talk in circles about like comedy theory or like humor theory, but it's like, I don't know.
But we're at the end of BoyFlop, so we should probably talk about.
We can talk about comedy, whatever the fuck degenerate thing you just said. We can talk about next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Like, I think we've talked about before, like that there's a strange like parallel between comedy and music, in that kind of regard.
I know we talked about comedy. I don't remember the specific context.
Well, it's the end of BoyFlop. John, what are you doing for this week? You came out with a fucking rad cover of fucking Death Note.
I'm working on covers. I'm in the process of determining what my next YouTube network will be. Those of you, whatever, YouTube networks kind of act as my liaison between YouTube and me. So I'm dealing with contracts, which is the absolute bane of every musician.
It's a great time. You should be happy. It's thrilling.
So I'm dealing with that. I'm doing covers a lot, and I just started playing Super Smash Bros. Again, so I've been wasting a lot of time getting wrecked.
Cool.
But other than that, full version of the Death Note opening next week.
Cool.
Gonna start working on the Sword Art openings. Gonna start working on the next Disney album. And some other random stuff. I might do an NSYNC cover this month.
Dude, which one?
Well, on May 1st, I want to do. It's gonna be.
Oh
me.
No!
I also want to do the other one. I want to do is Backstreet's Back.
Yeah.
And just make it really heavy.
Do it, dude.
Backstreet's back. All right. Just like fucking
do it.
Just drop it really hard.
You should do Larger Than Life instead.
Dude, I would love.
And then sing about him.
The whole video is just me standing there.
I would. Two things I want to do. I want to make a cover album where I do metal covers of boy band songs, and I also want to make a satire boy band album.
Do it.
And have my boy band be called Young Boys. or something.
Young Boys.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because Jonathan Young and Young Boys.
Pubescent
it'll be
boys.
funny because then I'll make a fake boy band album and then I'll make like merch that says like I love Young Boys.
Oh my God.
I was like, for a second, I was gonna ask, did you just come up with that right now?
No, I've been thinking about this. This is a very, very specific marketing.
Very
ploy.
Calculated.
It is calculated because it's a pun and the merchandise.
You're gonna get someone hurt
or sued.
Yeah,
probably me.
Probably
anyway.
you.
Yeah.
So, Young Boys debut album coming 2016. What are you doing, Rich?
Boycotting that album.
You can't boycott us.
Young boycott.
Yeah. I don't know. I put out a cover today. It's stupid. I'm doing more stuff.
Dude, you got fucked over with that like what happened? Was that actually on YouTube?
I'm not sure what happened, but like I had the video, it was all rendered. I uploaded it to YouTube, and then when I made it public, only part of the video evidently had been uploaded, even though it said it had completed. So it cut off 2/3 of the way in.
Weird.
So I had to take it down and re-upload it, which is annoying as fuck, but whatever. It's a cover of Scars of Time from Chrono Cross.
The thing that I actually just thought of, you know that YouTube has like a feature where like if you can upload the video, and if it's close enough to the upload date, you can actually trim part of the video.
I didn't go anywhere near that.
Well, I know, but I don't know. Like, I wonder if maybe YouTube did it because it's stupid, and you could have gone in and just.
Technology isn't perfect, but still, it's just kind of like all the negative repercussions fall back on me because of that.
Right. Because of YouTube's bullshit.
Really, really, really annoying. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. That kind of got me off to a shitty start for the day, but it's up. I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah.
It's the first video I put out with new tones for bass and guitar, and a new guitar in general. And I actually just picked up an entirely new bass. I got rid of my 6-string bass because it was stupid.
Yeah.
Got like this pretty decent 5-string Ibanez thing.
Yeah, it plays really well.
Yeah, I'm excited to start laying down stuff with that, and I don't know. Part of me kind of sort of wants to do a rendition of the House of Cards theme.
Yeah, dude. So we Rich and I just binged the entirety of season 4 of House of Cards. It was really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, season 3. Like those of you guys who might be avoiding it just because season 3 was not the best. Like season 4 definitely picks up.
I think season 4 is my favorite so far.
Yeah,
actually.
definitely.
So I might do that. Otherwise, I kind of want to do another original just to show off the new gear and be like, hey, look, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Everyone knows.
I'll figure something out. Another cover coming up. I don't know, nothing special.
Right, dude. I have tomorrow. I'm doing the final stream for the top 10 level 1 themes medley. I'm really fucking happy with how this one's coming out, just because the songs are fucking ridiculous, but they're coming out like pretty well. Like even though like a lot of the I'm doing E1 M1 from Doom, and that has like the most ridiculously like definitely like whoever sequenced that in MIDI for like the original Doom was just like laughing his ass off. Because
you're talking about like the little trolls and stuff. Yeah, the fucking bullshit.
Because like they don't follow any pattern. They're literally, it just looks.
It sounds like it moves around.
It does. It's not like you'd think it would be conducive to guitar, but that's why like almost every cover, a lot of covers, like there are a lot of covers out there that get it right, but most covers actually change it so that it's more conducive to playing on the guitar.
Yeah.
So literally a lot of my stream, like probably an hour of the 7-hour stream I did yesterday, was me sitting there like with a metronome trying to figure out the actual riff, and I'm being very diligent about being completely accurate with these songs as opposed to kind of coming up with my own arrangement for the most part. Unless it's a song like Bomb on Battlefield, I'm kind of going a little nuts with, just because like everyone's fucking done Bomb on Battlefield and everyone knows it. But that is going to be coming out within the next week. Other than that, I have some makeup work for that VST that I have to do, so that's still delayed. But I can't wait to be able to let you guys try it out there who want to have a guitar VST. I might actually use it.
I'm gonna buy it, and I'm never gonna play guitar again.
Well, I'm definitely gonna use it for arranging. Like one of the things that I do when I arrange my covers is, and I'm doing this a lot less lately now that I'm pretty much just like Okay, so and you guys have given me shit for this. Back in the day, what I would do is I would record one track of the cover, just like the lead's pretty bad. That's the arrangement track. Then I would record it again, and then mix the whole cover, and then take out my video and then record it again one more time. So 3 times. Because
I have a question. I have a question. Do you not enjoy having free time?
Well, the way I see it is like at that point, like it was conducive to my time at my like how much time I had to work on it at the time. Right. Now I'm pretty much just setting up the camera, and like when I do the arrangement track, I just hope that I don't need to change it when I hear all the other instruments. And then if I do, then just whip out the camera again. But now it's a lot easier. Where was I going with that? Fuck. Well, whatever.
Wombology, the study of wombo. It's grade school science, SpongeBob.
Jesus. Well, anyways, I wouldn't have to actually record anything for the arrangement process. I would just be able to use the VST and just like plug it in and already hear how it's going to sound, and then record the actual one. Right.
And it's still your guitar.
It's still my guitar.
And I'm gonna start just putting out videos saying featuring Family Jewels 7X, whether you like it or not.
Do it. I wonder if it's gonna be so good that like I could just like sit back and like never actually touch a guitar again.
Dude, that'd be great. I could fucking make pop covers and just not
just make a cover in a day.
I could get so far ahead of schedule that I could actually fucking make an original for once,
or go to conventions. Yeah. That's pretty much what I'm doing.
Let me know when that VST comes out, because I'm buying it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's gonna be a coupon code that directly supports me if you buy it using the coupon code and stuff, and it takes money off. I'm trying to think of anything else going on. Mostly, we're going to GDC in a week, so we'll probably do a BoyFlop. Age Resource is coming back. So yay. Boy. And we're all gonna go up. We're gonna actually see Ace Waters, who Ace came out with a fucking amazing cover today.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's the Minecraft title theme. So fucking good.
Did he kill it?
He killed it.
As normal?
As normal. Fucking... And I actually tweeted at C418. So,
cool. Hopefully he sees it.
Yeah, and we're going there also with Booz and Welch, Josiah.
And Stephen Morris will be there too.
Oh, cool.
Have fun, boys.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. So we'll probably do a BoyFlop on Monday, and I will be uploading it from the train.
Can you give me the BoyFlop login info so I can just make an episode and just be like, "It's your boy, Jonathan Young. I have killed the 2 other members of the Boy Shack. This is my show now."
All right, yeah, I'm down. Troll the fucking BoyFlop.
April Fools.
Welcome to John Flop.
All right, yeah, that's it. All right, thanks everybody for fucking listening to Dreams, Sci-Fi, and literally nothing.
Go to bed!
Yeah.
I'm going to. Jesus.
It's not about you, John. We're saying the general population go to bed.
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Fucking, you can't expect everyone to do what you want.
Go to bed. It's a suggestion, not a demand.
That sounds like a demand.
It's my opinion.
Yeah, I hate my life. I'm Family Jewels 7X.
I am Jonathan Young.
And he's going to bed. Bye, everyone.
Okay.